Hello everyone, this is Aaron Fitch from ATF Gaming and welcome back to NASCAR Heat 2. Today we have a doubleheader at New Hampshire, which is going to be so much fun because New Hampshire is totally my favorite track in this game. But considering how Kentucky went, maybe we'll have more success than I expected. One thing we haven't checked out recently is our stats. Ironically enough, we have the exact same amount of wins in the Trucks and Xfinity series in 21. Obviously, we won a championship in both of those series. And we've got 15 wins in the Cup Series already, so we're doing quite well for ourselves. 57 wins overall. So yeah, standings, we are 4th in Xfinity. 1st in the playoff grid, of course. 1st in the Trucks. And 9th in the Monster Energy Cup Series, but obviously we're 1st in the playoff grid. Do we have any weird people in the playoffs in any of this yet? We have, not really. Ryan Blaney and Chase Elliott both won. Blake Cook and Ryan Reed both won a race. Ty Dillon won 2 races. That's unusual. Grant Empfingers won a race, so not really any unusual people yet, so without further ado, let's head off to New Hampshire for more fun in NASCAR Heat 2. Alright, here we are starting our qualifying lap at New Hampshire in the Xfinity car. This setup is a little harder to control than I previously anticipated here, but I think I'm getting a handle of it. This is my 2nd attempt at qualifying. It's a lot different than some of the other sides, but we really haven't used this kind of setup on a track like this yet, so alright, well, probably not going to be a good lap, but we'll have time in the race to get it better.
Alright, let's see where we play.
20th. Never mind. It's actually a really good lap for us, so we will run the race with this setup just so we can get used to it before we do the Cup race, because that's the main deal here. Ryan Reed's on the pole, good for him. And let's head off to the race.
Almost ready. Nice and smooth here. Going green. Green flag.
Brandon Brown, a decent qualifying effort for him. I have no idea what this is going to be like with this setup, because this is HT Motorsport specializes in the most scary setups possible, but yet they're super fast. I know why, because she has the camber at such a ridiculous rate, but it works. It gives you a lot of control of the car if you do it right. I'm sure with a wheel this would be really fun. Alright, Cole Custer just shoved us into the wall there, and that's super appreciative of that. We're going to run the super high line, hopefully get away from him. He's not a rival that I'm aware of, but he just flat out ran me into the wall. He was 3 wide, so I don't know if he thought he needed to give the guy underneath him more room or what. We might have just spun somebody out, not sure if he saved it or not. Only a 4-lap stage, but we are already entering stage point territory.
Stay low. Hold your line. Top is clear.
So let's see if we can rack up some stage points, maybe get us moving up in the standings a little bit, because I do want to try to get really high in the standings in this series as well. Obviously the Cup Series is going to be a lot harder, but in this series we should be able to maximize our points and try to win the regular season championship if possible. Elliott Sadler is the one that we are worried about in points as far as leading, I believe. And he's behind us already, so that's a good sign. Bubba is a rival, so I probably should be a little more careful around him, because he'll do that.
Stay on the top. Hold your line.
There we go. And that's the end of stage 1. We got 3 points out of that, so I'll take that. Oh, accidentally hit my countertop here. That was only a 4-lap stage, so we could not make it to the end from here. So we will go and race for stage 2 without any pit shenanigans.
Stay sharp.
I'll use this time to remind you, if you haven't been aware or watching, I am doing a 2018 championship mode as a stream series on Saturdays. I also upload the videos afterwards, so you could watch them later. The time varies because I usually try to work around the Xfinity schedule or truck schedule or whatever ends up happening on Saturday. So like this past week we did 2 o'clock because it was a late Xfinity race. Weekend before we did 7 o'clock because it was a truck and Xfinity doubleheader. I always manage to put the reminder on the day before on YouTube for the live stream, so if you are not aware of that, be sure to hop over there. We're having lots of fun, and we don't have rivals in that series, so that is always a good thing when you are with ATF Gaming, because we rack up the rivals quite easily for some reason. Alright, we have 3 wide at New Hampshire. Trying to get up there. Sorry about that. Because of how we rewired my internet at the house, we have the household phone landline. We have the main part of that down here with me. So if that ever goes off, I have to stop recording and mute, so you guys don't hear it.
Hold your line.
So sorry about that. That's actually the first time that's happened in a recording, so I'm quite impressed we've gone that long. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get around Suarez here. I like the setup now that I've gotten used to it a little bit more.
Still there.
As long as you don't enter the turn too fast, it's not that bad. Who is that? Is that Harrison Rhodes up there? Of course it is. I don't know why Harrison Rhodes is all godlike in this game compared to real life, but oh well. Not gonna worry about him. We need to worry about getting the spot with Suarez.
All clear.
It's driving off the corner that we have a lot of trouble with, which is unusual in this kind of setup, but we do get a 4th place effort in stage 2. I'll take that. Hamrick won the stage. I think he won the previous stage too. We are pitting for 2 tires, 1 can of fuel. Should bring us to the end. We only lost 5 spots, so I have a feeling that was the correct call. We will double check on the fuel mileage.
Stay sharp. Green's coming.
I'm trying to be a little more self-aware of when we don't need to pit for full fuel. For some reason we have engine damage. I was rather surprised by that. We are 4 wide here. Let's get out of that situation in a hurry. But we only lost 5 spots, which is better than, you know, losing like 25 spots, which is our tendencies. Oh yeah, overdrove that corner very much, but oh, we were 4 wide again momentarily, and Bubba actually took advantage of us doing that. And he's just gonna, we're gonna ride together for a little while. There we go. Oh god. Overdrove. But should get a decent run off. So it's Hamrick, Blake Cook, and Harrison Rhodes are your top 3. That's quite a unique top 3. So I'm recording this before I watched the Cup race on Sunday. Since it was a later start time, I decided to record before the race starts. But I have seen the Xfinity race and the truck race, and I have to admit it's been a fairly decent weekend when it comes to the lower series, so I'm looking forward to a good Cup race, sorry. Truck race was very good with some of the drafting things that this the new aero package and the new engine allows. Xfinity race was actually pretty decent.
Stay right there.
Yes, I know both were won by Cup regulars, but Kyle Busch had to work for it and Kyle Larson had to work for it. So I really don't feel bad when they have to work for it. If they run away with it, then that's when, you know, I get a little mad about the situation. But they both had to work for it, so can't be upset about that. But yeah, otherwise, really not much to talk about with those races. I do have a few things to talk about, but be sure to watch my ATF review that went up yesterday. That's the word. Meanwhile, while I've been ranting about NASCAR, we took the lead. Now let's just try to run the line that I'm supposed to run with this setup and pull away a little bit. Wasn't really expecting to win this thing. We hadn't been running too well. But apparently we're doing better than I anticipated. And we're pulling away now. Yeah, we're pulling away now, so I'm going to cut out here, save some time on the video, and I'll see you guys when anything interesting happens. Alright, here we are coming to take the white flag, sponsored by the state of Kentucky. I realized that the last episode, the success we had at Kentucky was because we have sponsorship by the state. So I think that's why we were doing so well at Kentucky when we normally struggle there. Unfortunately, New Hampshire hasn't really stepped up the ball game as far as the state rewards program. But by some act of God, we are about to win, I have to believe for the first time ever, at New Hampshire.
Fantastic job out there. Great win.
That was good. We won by about 2 seconds, I believe. Can't go wrong there. Only a second and a half, so we must have lost some time in that last lap. Bad day for Ray Black Jr. Cook finished second, Hemrick third, and Harrison Rhodes fourth. Rhodes was in second for the majority of that time, but must have fell off at the end, unfortunately. That'll be a decent payday for us. Cool. Still fourth in the standings, but we had to have closed some ground. So we're only 4 points behind Suarez, and we're still a decent ways behind Byron and Sadler, but Byron doesn't have a win yet, so he's not locked into the playoffs, but considering we've won 7 wins, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, let's head back to the menu or straight off to qualifying for the Cup car. Oh, we've got to celebrate. I always forget the celebration. That's another win for the Happy Dog in spirit, of course. Our beautiful car. This will be the last week for these paint schemes now that it is March. We'll get the new paint scheme going next week. We'll have the video up on Sunday of who's getting what. So, yeah, now we can head back to the menu or off to qualifying. Alright, here we are starting our qualifying lap in the Cup car. No idea how this is going to go. If the setup is very similar, words on, to the Xfinity Series, we might be okay. It's a little more skatey than I would like. But that's what you get when you do HD Motorsports setups. That was a really good 3 and 4. Let's see what we get out of that.
Okay, where'd that put us?
11th. 11th, guys. We just qualified 11th. Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that we just qualified 11th? That's our best qualifying effort ever. Maybe except for a road course, but I personally don't think that's been the case either in the Cup Series. Wow. Well, if there was ever a race we can avoid some of our rivals, this would be it. Let's just not mess it up, and I'll turn it over to PRN.
Today, NASCAR makes its first stop in Loudon, New Hampshire for the New Hampshire 301. This 1.058-mile oval speedway will test a driver's patience. These guys are all set to run 300 laps, bumping and banging the entire way. The drivers are in their cars, so let's strap in and get ready for another exciting race at the Magic Mile.
Alright, well, let's see how this goes, but this bears well for us in the chase if we can actually have success at this track, because this used to be one of our bad tracks in the chase. But now, for some reason, it might be one of our good ones, if I can stop losing control of my vehicle. I'm going to go wide here.
Stay right there.
Oh Lord, we made up a ton of spots right there. There's a DLC scene for Truex that I don't remember ever. Is that the Wix Filters car?
Still there.
I don't remember that.
Carlo.
Oh, huge run off. Huge run off. I actually had to let off because of how good of a run that was.
Bottom clear.
Look at us go. Look at us go. We might actually win this race in dominating fashion. We have not done that in the Cup Series ever. So that's good. Obviously, it looks like we're really slow on entry, but we get a huge exit speed. So, as long as we don't have anybody right on our bumper, that's going to be fine. Oh, God, I forgot to brake. No biggie, no biggie. We can just accelerate off and gain an entire second in that corner almost. 5 laps to go on the stage. We'll keep you with us here. But if this is going to be like this, we'll definitely cut out some at the end of this race. But, well, this is a really good sign for us in the chase. Like I said, this is more of a dug track for me usually. This is in the first round, I believe. Since this is the old schedule, I believe it was Chicagoland here and Dover, perhaps? Or Dover might be in the second round, I'm not sure. But, obviously in the 2018 season, New Hampshire no longer has a playoff date. But in this career mode, we're still on the 2017 version. But we are just flying right now. This is going to be a really good race for us if I don't screw this up. It'll be a good race for us for the fact that we're not going to have to deal with any of our rivals, assuming we don't catch lap traffic. And obviously we're going to win the race, but I think that's more important. Maybe we get the chance to die down some of our rivals if we don't get anywhere near them in this race. That's the ultimate goal. And when I started using custom setups, that was really the ultimate goal. Besides qualifying better, was maybe we could, since we were already locked into the chase at the point I made this decision, maybe we could just, run up front a lot more with these custom setups and avoid some of our rivals in the back. So by the time the chase does come around, we'll be in really good shape. A caution came out, so that's the end of the stage. That stage was, what, 8 laps or so? So we should be able to make it to the next stage, no problem. Now we got to restart. Let's see how this goes. This could be scary going into turn 1.
Almost ready. Nice and smooth
We
here.
will see.
Going green. Green, green. Car high.
Got a really good launch, however.
Clear. Car inside.
Yep, I
Car
knew
high.
that would happen, but again, we got the
Clear
huge
up top.
runoff that nobody else
Close
has.
clear.
And we just fly away over a second in the span of one one exit of a corner. That's just outstanding. And then I immediately screw it up by doing all this. But even after all that, we're still a second ahead. So I'm going to cut out here. We'll save some time on the video. This will be a shorter video anyway, since it's not a triple header. I'll bring you guys back in if I do any more of that stupidity. Or when we get to the end of the stage. Alright, I'm bringing you back in because I couldn't avoid stupidity. This is literally one lap later than when I just cut out. Because I think because the tires are warm, we're not getting nearly enough runoff compared to where we were. Or I'm just being really stupid. Kyle Busch is a rival, so that's not fun. But I'm doing everything the same. I'm really not trying to do anything differently. Well, I guess I did it right that time.
Car inside.
And Kyle Busch runs me into the wall. So the only problem with this scenario is that Kyle Busch is a rival, and he really doesn't want to give us the spot back.
All clear.
And we got a right front tire wearing. And that's really going to cause some issues. So I was a fool for cutting away. I know I probably shouldn't have. Why are we spinning out automatically when I enter the corner?
Clear up top. Car high.
Makes no sense to me why we're doing that. I'm doing everything as instructed. Nothing has changed except for the tire wear.
Clear all around. Car underneath.
So much for running away with this race. I mean, we were 2 seconds ahead.
Underneath.
Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy Johnson, why? Goodbye. Is he a rival? He might be a rival.
Load clear. Car low.
Yes, when I do all the sliding in the middle of the corner that I don't get a good run off, but I can't help it when I'm braking and it just slides, and then Jimmy Johnson runs into me again.
Clear.
Man, he's really desperate at this point. Well, we're not winning the stage, I don't think, unless if a miracle happens.
Car inside.
Especially since it's going to take an act of God for us to get around Kyle Busch without incident. I can't believe he still stayed a rival because even through all those races we were in the back of the pack. Why is it when I hit the brakes I suddenly spin out? That makes no sense to me. That doesn't make any sense. That's not what brakes do.
Hold the top. Hold your line.
I guess I need to hold the brakes for less and then wait a little longer to accelerate. This will be the last lap in the stage. I was a fool for cutting out because I must have jinxed myself or something.
Low.
See, we got a good run off, but because the right front tire is worn, we couldn't take advantage of it.
Stay high. Hold your line.
We're drifting hard right now. That was a hard drift right there. We're not even going to keep a top 5 at this rate. Nope. Well, that was disappointing. I guess we've learned our lesson as far as what happens when we wear the tires out. But yeah, we're pitting 4 tires and fuel, no doubt. Do I want to mess with this setup? No, I really don't. I'm scared to. We all dropped 1 spot. Who stayed out? Clint Boyer? That's Clint Boyer up front. What is Clint doing?
Stay sharp. Green's coming. Nice and smooth here. Going green.
I have no idea what master plan Clint's on. We'll get to the end, right? Yes. Well, this is going to be our longest stint of all, so.
Car high. You're 3 wide. Clear down low.
Alright, Junior gave us a little shove because I believe he's still a rival. But let's take advantage of these tires while we can. Again, I don't know what master plan Clint Boyer's on.
3 wide.
Okay, alright. Let me get straight, please.
Car
And
outside.
then
Low.
we are 4 wide.
You're 3 wide.
No, we were 4 wide, crew chief. Oh my god.
Yellow's out.
Dang it. And they all had to pit. We're gonna pit for right side tires only. How did we lose spots?
Stay sharp. Green's coming. Okay, be smart out there. Going green. Car outside. Green flag. Green flag. Car high.
I'm so mad. I am so mad.
Stay low. Stay right there.
We would have dominated
Car
this
up top.
race.
Clear low.
We would have dominated the rest of this
All
race. And we wouldn't have touched a single one of our back of the field rivals in this entire race. And now I have to pass all of them again because of stupid pit strategy. We would have won this race by a lap too because apparently they all had to pit again. Meanwhile, I'm going to use the bold strategy of just riding the wall. Alright, it was the outside line that got us up there, so let's just keep using that. And hope that we don't end up right next to a rival when we exit the corner. That is so frustrating. They must have done fuel only, but still, it should have taken about the same amount of time as a 2-tire stop with no fuel. Crap! Dale!
Low.
Dale,
Car
please!
underneath.
Let a brother who's obviously dominating this race have a clean pass, please.
Car low.
That's all I'm asking for, Dale.
Low's clear.
I haven't even gotten into you in like 5 races, so maybe it's a myth. Maybe once they are 5 stars, they're going to be 5 stars for life. Or a level 5 pissed off.
Clear low.
Sorry, Suarez, that's going to be a caution.
Caution is out.
Alright, we're back to the top 10. We got a ton of damage, but at this point it doesn't matter. We're back to the top 10. We might still salvage a good finish out of this, but that was frustrating. Oh, I forgot that we were restarting. Crap. Dale, give me a push. Thank you. Thank you, Dale.
Car underneath.
For once, I'm happy that we're rivals because I got a terrible restart. Because I forgot that we were restarting. Okay, let's hope and pray Harvick's not a rival. He might be after that, though, but Allmendinger sure is. Why is Allmendinger up here, I guess, is a fair question. We're going to hit the wall again, but if I can get off the wall, we're going to get a really good exit off the corner. Funny how that works. Is that Kyle Busch still leading, or is that Joey Logano? I can't really tell. It looks like Joey Logano is in first and Kyle Busch is second, so that'll make the pass for the lead a lot easier as we just slice and dice through a 3-wide situation there. Is McMurray a rival? He might be a rival, I'm not positive. Alright, let's see if we can pass Busch cleanly here. That's a negative. But he's also not running us into the wall, so that's a positive.
Carlo.
We also don't have Jimmy Johnson trying to run us off the face of the earth at the end of each corner. And we have made it back into the lead. It's a miracle. That's how fast this car is, folks. We just went from like 35th-ish to first in the span of like 5 laps. That's how fast this car is when I don't screw it up.
5 to go.
5 laps to go. I'm not going to cut any of this race out now. Or, well, we'll cut out like the 1 lap that we cut out in stage 2.
Carlo, clear all around.
We're also not pulling away because I'm just derping out in the corners now. I'm doing exactly as I've been told to do with this setup, but it just breaks loose when I brake. It makes no sense, but that's what it's doing. Oh, and then I brake way too early, and Joey just decides to gain courage and drive in super deep. But we'll get the run off to take advantage. But we're not pulling away again, like I said. But at least Logano is not a rival, surprisingly enough. I'd much rather have this fight with him than I would with Kyle Busch or McMurray. Speaking of which, a good run for McMurray. 3 laps to go. Alright. Got a little squirrely, but I managed to save it. Okay, don't say that, Aaron. Just as I was about to say I saved it, I immediately spin out again for no apparent reason.
Carlo.
Come on. Dang it, I didn't get the good run off.
2 to go.
2 to go.
Hold your line.
We're not going to get a good
Yellow
run
flag,
in.
yellow flag,
There's a
easy.
caution while I was driving into the corner. That's the worst time a caution could have come out. But we do get the inside line. I don't know if that helps me or not. That was the worst possible time for us to get a caution, because we know we're slow going into the corners.
2 to go.
Oh god, we got a great launch. I almost made it 3 wide there for a second. But I realized that would have been an ill-fated move.
Clear high.
But we did get Kyle out of the situation, so that'll help. But we're going to have to fight with Joey here, and now his teammate Brad's in the situation. And I have a feeling Brad might possibly be a rival. I'm not sure. I don't run with these front runners enough to know whether they're rivals or not. I sure know which back markers are rivals, that's for sure.
1 lap to go. Give it
That's
all you
shoved
got.
in my face every single time I
Car underneath.
go to the racetrack. Alright, let's get this really good run off, and then...
Clear low.
Dang it! I messed it up. We're not going to win this race. We're not going to win this
Carlo.
race. I messed it up. I'm so mad at myself right now. Nope. Wow, I've really messed it up. We're not even going to get third.
Carlo. Top 5. Nice job.
I've never been so mad for a 4th place finish in my life in this game. Oh, that was so frustrating. I'm such an idiot. That was all my fault. Granted, the tires were worn and I knew that that was happening, but I'm such an idiot. This setup was so hard to control. If you don't do your braking zone spot on, it doesn't work. And I knew what I needed to do, and I didn't do it. So Clint Boyer, after his master strategy move, decided that he wasn't going to do the last 6 laps. Martin Truex Jr. also had a bad finish. We did win a stage, so that'll help us in points. We won a stage and we finished, what, 6th in a stage? And then we finished 4th overall, so that'll help us in the points a little bit. Decent payday. We got twice as much as we did for winning the Xfinity race. And standings, we moved up 1 spot. Great. But again, we have 6 wins, so it doesn't really matter. Let's head back to the menu and see if there's anything else to take a look at. Not sure where you picked up those hashtag skills, but that top 5 finish was pretty rad. Well, thanks, Landon Castle. Yeah. So what do we got next on the agenda? We got Eldora in the truck, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll just do the easy. So we got Eldora in the trucks to start off, and then where is the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series? Eldora and Indianapolis. So this could be a good weekend for us. But I will try to make sure that this will be an episode on Thursday. No, not Thursday. Sunday. No, not Sunday. I don't know. I will try to make sure that we have a second episode this week. Actually, no, there won't be a second episode this week. So this will be what we got next week, Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more content from ATF Gaming, be sure to hit that red subscribe button and click the little notification bell so you get a notification every single time I post a video. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.